All right, as cheesy as this sounds, I'm going to be showing you what to do when you unload a swarm trap that the bees have been in there a little bit too long, and they built comb probably from the bottom of these frames all the way down to the bottom of the swarm trap. So I can just feel by the weight of this one that it's probably got that comb. It's very heavy, a lot of bees. Just moved them over 2 miles away from where I got this trap from. Just unscrewing the lid here because we use screws to keep the lid on from blowing off and box of bees from falling open during transit. So they got a propolis shut. You got to just slowly get it up a little bit, get some smoke in there. These bees, a lot of bees in here. I locked them up last night. They did not like being locked up when the daylight came out today, so they've been aching to get out. Now I've opened up this hive and I've let them fly probably about an hour or two ago so that all the guards can go out. There's a chair that's under the camera that's I'm using to orient, make these bees come out of this hive. It's the first time they've seen this area, and they're going to see this chair, and it's going to make them orient to understand, whoa, that wasn't there the last time I came in. And so they're going to use it and fly around here and make sure that they see the entrance they flew out of, hopefully. So I can look down in here and I see that there is a lot of drawn comb. You know, the frames are stuck together, and like I said, when I pulled this out, I got my frame rest here that I'm kind of counting on having to hang this frame on here to cut the bottom off. You know, when you got one person, it can be a pain. So I'm gonna get that ready, and let's see if I can get it out of here. If they've already fastened this comb to the bottom, it's gonna be kind of a messy deal. It's gonna rip this comb in half. You know, they probably got honey in it. So I'm gonna pull it out nice and easy. And I notice I'm rolling bees. So I'm going to take my hive tool in here. I'm going to try to force these frames, squish them together more and get them away from this first frame I'm bringing out. Because when you start rolling bees, it just agitates them and more. So, as I said, there's that comb. So when a new swarm moves in, they are aching to go. They want to build new comb. That's just honey right there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move these frames out of this box into this deep, so I don't care about honey. I'll cut that comb off. But if these, I'm expecting the other ones to have some brood in them, and I will cut those off and I'll wire them into a frame. And that's the reason I'm kind of doing this video, because some of these swarm traps can be a little more tricky. So I'll just kind of lay this. You get 1 or 2 bounces with bees before they start getting angry, unless you squish them. You want to try not to squish them. So now I can pry these other frames apart and pull it nice and far away from it so that I'm not rolling bees on the way up. And here we go. You can kind of see they've done a little bit of everything down here. And when I look at that, of course there are eggs in there. So I want to save these frames. And so here's what I do. I've got I don't really need smoke, but I just kind of keep it handy. I've got my little table up here, and there's no real, gentle way of doing it. Here, let me try this. So I'm hanging it here, and maybe what I can do is use this lid. This was my table to kind of cut. So maybe I can kind of lay it down on that. Got my rubber bands here ready. Let's put a couple on the frames, actually. So, got those frames here behind me. Again, just frames, assembled, good and sturdy. We'll get some rubber bands on it like this, just to have them in place. Put some on both sides, so we can just kind of move them into position when we need them. Now I'm keeping them off to the side because I know that that first frame's got to go in there somewhere. This is the first comb, so hopefully you can see it. What I'm going to try, actually, is I think I'm going to lay Yeah. Like I said, no real easy way of doing it. You're gonna cut some bees, and what I'm doing is I'm just slowly, as easy as I can, laying it down on this thing. Now, if you were at home, I'm in an out yard, you could use a bee vac to suck them off first so that comb's more easy to work with. But while I have this frame, I don't want to touch this frame again. I'm going to look in here. I see lots of brood. I see eggs in the new comb down below. So there's a laying queen in here. It's really busting. Look, a lot of cap brood on the other side already. They've probably been in this swarm trap for a while. So I'm just kind of rebuilding the brood center in the center of this box. Got a couple foundation frames on the outside, and then I got some drawn empty combs, and now I'm putting the nuke in the middle. As far as this other thing here, we want to make sure that we hang that comb in the same orientation, so make sure you don't get it upside down. So now what I'm going to do is just move this. Yes, I'm squashing some bees, and that's just here. Maybe I can work. I'll do that one next. Get these rubber bands out of the way, and this comb is, looking pretty good. Rubber bands are still in the way. You want them all way off to the side. And see if the combs were too big, you could cut them. What we're trying to do here is we're just trying to save some brood. They've got eggs in here. It's okay to get them crisscrossed a little bit too. These bees will eventually chew these rubber bands off. I'm trying to let it down so I don't snap the bees. So you're just trying to hold that in place. Get it down in there. I decided I got an extra rubber band I want to utilize here, so. Looking back, I probably should have just shaken these bees off this piece of comb before putting it in this frame. What I'm also going to do, since I have it, I'll set it up in a minute so you can better see it. If you pinch a bee, you're going to get stung, so just be aware. Here's that other piece of comb. Just gonna, one of them numbers. Now I'm gonna press it together, it's fine. There we go. Don't build that into a solid piece. And I saved all that brood. So again, my first mistake, shake the bees off the comb. We're gonna do it on the next piece. So let's try that again. Hive tool. Again, pry the frame apart. You've got a lot of bees in here, they're jammed in there, so give them room before you. So here's what I'm gonna do on this one. I don't care if I shake this whole frame down. I'm just gonna do one of these numbers. That got bees off most of the bottom. So now I'll put it on this frame. And like I say, no real gentle way of doing that. Great frames of brood I'm seeing here. Okay, and let's get another empty frame. So you'll see how I'm using these extra pieces of comb to kind of brace the other comb in the right orientation. I'll show you here in a minute. That frame's kind of heavy with honey. Just gonna put it out here like this. It's also, see how I used a little piece of burr comb to hold it up in the right orientation? The bees will glue this stuff to the frames pretty good. When you put it in here, as long as it's straight up and it's not slopping off to the side, that's all you want. They'll fasten it. You just kind of get it into that position. Actually, I'm gonna take this out because I see on this last frame, I have a little bit more, so maybe I'll even use a little bit more comb to stabilize this off this last frame, because that'll be the last one that I probably wire. So again, I'm just gonna take out one of my frames I had in here because looks like I will have. And I'll put just a nice honey frame on the outside, put this last frame of eggs in here. So I can see how this doesn't all fit in here. So what I'm going to do is get my knife. Cut it right down the middle. Save this for a different piece. You know, because I see there's pollen, there's eggs. Nice brood frame of honey and pollen. Stick that right in the center. Let me fix that piece of comb. Stick that right in the center of some other two stable ones, and we are done. I'm going to take a look at the rest of this comb. Let's see here. Gosh, I do see eggs in it. So I'm going to hold on to that for a minute. Here's another interesting thing that you can do. Take a piece. I got this is a comb with some wire in it. So yeah, you're smashing the other side with, you know, a little bit into the wire, but you preserve one side. So do that. Since this thing's going to make a lot of bees. I mean, here they're already on this foundation frame. They're already all over the foundation frames. There's a lot of bees in this box. Still got one more frame in here to deal with too. I'm putting these for here for now. Let's take out this last frame, take a look at it. Of course, they got comb built down everywhere. Again, we'll nice honey frame. Probably going to start another deep. I got another deep in the truck that I'm going to put on top because this is just a great looking swarm. A little overdue. I'll be right back. Got it right over here.